man, I don't understand why Christians would not be for the case that you're making. It's a this is a historic. This isn't even like a radical. It's just not. It's not that extreme. It's a confessional, Reformed Protestant case for it's Christianity and just its natural outworkings in all of our various spheres of life. And yet, seems like it's not like you're just going to have a bunch of purple-haired, liberal progressive people not liking, but like there are apparently allegedly conservative Christians, who are also not really a fan. Why? What do you think that is? What do you think the outcome of it? Do you think that the church can rally behind something like this? That we could be Christian nationalists, or are we just going to splinter? I feel like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I feel like over the last 2.5 years, in the providence of God, in His mercy, the veil has been lifted to where American Christianity is just slowly heating up like the frog in this boiling pot of water, and it's like the enemy got too arrogant and turned up the temperature all of a sudden real quick. It's like, oh, we were almost to boiling point. Let's just go ahead and knock it the rest of the way. And the temperature rose quickly, and the frog finally, felt it and jumped out of the pot. And it's like you have half of the evangelical church that finally is awake and realizes that CRT and intersectionality and wokeness and civil tyranny and transing kids in schools and all this is a bad idea. We're not doing this. But so it's like we had half of us, and it really felt like for a couple of years, like we have a team here, and now it feels like the team's getting really narrow because we agreed on the problem. But I'm quickly finding that even within the Christian conservative world, we don't agree on the solution. Guys who I would have thought even just 6 months ago, like that guy for sure, he'll be on the team, and they're not. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, I don't know. I hope I convince a lot of people. I think one thing that's going to happen is they're going to try to use the kind of social justice cards to attack Christian nationalism. So I made the choice to talk about gynocracy in the book. And so they're going to say that I'm misogynist. And that's going to be what, so they're going to try to divide women from this. Of course, many women will not. They'll actually agree with what I say, but given the state of the world, it'll probably be fewer than will be offended. There's going to be racial stuff. They're going to try to divide along that. It's kind of a divide and conquer. That's going to happen. But I think that the main thing that people don't like, but the way they'll resist, is we've been trained in passivity. We've been trained to be passive with regard to Christian political action. And this has been going on for a long, long time. I think that I don't know when it started, but the example of it would be the civil rights movement with Martin Luther King. So I'm not going to bash anything related to any of that or him, but his movement and the civil rights movement was largely kind of this passive thing. Of course, it was active there in the streets and all that, but it wasn't. It was more like it was passive in the sense that it was a sort of performance to get like white sympathy. So then, people would see the hoses and the dogs barking and all that, and they'd have sympathy and they'd say no more, and then segregation's ended. So that was it was like a passive in the sense that you're appealing, you're not achieving it yourself, you're actually doing something to then get other people to do something for you in a way. Okay. Christians kind of have that same mindset, that if we have good moral witness, if we show ourselves to be passive and submissive and kind and winsome, all these things is meant to try to passively perform in front of now secular overlords to kind of get what we want. The idea is we can't achieve anything by our own self-assertion, by bringing about by our own action. It has to be passive. This is like David French's basic political theology, which is an incoherent mess, doesn't make any sense, but that's basically what it is. It's passivity. Passive performance to get the other people to like you, to let you kind of have your little space in the world. That's what it's all about. And I don't know how. I mean, it's frustrating because it's like, yeah, well, you're Presbyterian. Do you even know your own tradition? I mean, so or even Baptist, anyone, any Protestant, like, do you even know your own heritage? Like, that's not, this passive thing is not, there's an element of that, but it's active. So the point here is that
not the
Christian
Black Robe
nationalism, the
regiment.
Christian nationalism is saying you should be assertive and active so that you, in your own will and action, bring about what you want, bring about what ought to be in existence. Not passively, not perform, not this, oh, please, overlords, give us what we want. No, it's we say this is what we ought to do, and we act and achieve it. And I'm just hoping that people will see that. I'm hoping men in particular will see that they should do things and not concern themselves with the school marms who want to look down upon that and say, no, you can't violate the rules. That's not inclusive enough. No, like, you should assert yourself and say, yeah, no, you're not going to blaspheme God anymore. It's done. You're done.
Right.
I mean, that's the sort of thing we should have, that assertion, and do it, enact it, and it's just.
All right. Stop twisting my arm. I know you want to hear the inside scoop. Here it is, the glorious vision of Right Response Ministries for the first half of next year, 2023. We have not one, not two, but three massive endeavors that we will accomplish by the grace of God. The first you already know about. It's our Theonomy and Postmillennialism Conference, May 5th, 6th, and 7th, with James White, Joe Boot, Gary DeMar, Dale Partridge, and yours truly, Pastor Joel Webbon. This is selling out incredibly fast. By the time this commercial airs, you may not even be able to get a ticket. I really don't know. So don't waste another moment. Go to rightresponseconference.com, rightresponseconference.com to join us for the Theonomy and Postmillennialism Conference next year. Now, this is where you come in. We need your help. Our next two endeavors are, number one, a documentary style film, and number two, a brand new studio. Both of these things are seeking to accomplish one primary goal, which is excellent, high quality, glorious Christian media. We are tired of as Christians doing things poorly. We've done our best with what we have, but by God's grace, we want to do even better. This is not going to be just another video. This is not going to be a sermon or an interview or a podcast, but we're going to make a documentary style film. And we're going to be hiring Nathan Anderson, the director of On Earth as It Is in Heaven, a very, very successful postmillennialism documentary that's on Amazon and YouTube, came out a couple years ago. He's going to be flying in from Chile to help us direct this film. And our documentary is going to be on postmillennialism and theonomy, why it's biblically valid, why it's absolutely necessary, and why, by the grace of God, theonomy and postmillennialism are currently on the rise. So we're going to make this film, and we need your support. And not just this film, but we're going to make all of our videos and podcasting and everything we do here at Right Response Ministries better. We want to achieve the highest level of quality and Christian excellence that we possibly can. That's where the new studio comes in. This new film, our date that we're shooting for, is that it would be complete and publicly available in May or June of 2023, next year. The studio, our goal is that it would be completely done in its construction and the equipment and the setup and the stage and everything by January, February of 2023 next year. We need your prayers. We need your encouragement. And for those of you who are willing to do so, we need your generous support. You can give towards these endeavors by going to rightresponseministries.com/donate. Again, that's rightresponseministries.com/donate. Thank you so much for all your help. God bless.